Hello guys, welcome back, and today I'm super uber mega excited to share the story of these two ladies on this very good series that I just recently came across, and especially when I found out that they actually have a very interesting storyline on the show. But before we get into further details and speak about Ciri and Mistle, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your personal opinion down below in the comments. So the show, in this case the series, is called The Witcher. The core plot of the series intertwined destinies of three main characters: Gerald of Rivia, a mutant monster hunter; Jennifer of Vanderburg, a powerful sorceress; and Princess Ciri, a young princess with lantern immense magical powers. So that is basically the three main characters of the show in this case. Start off with the character breakdown. So if you guys don't know, Mistle is portrayed as a sweet, smart, and heartless survival who is the factor leader of the rats. They rescue Ciri after she escapes from capture and adopts a new dark identity as Falca. So she's basically like the lover that Falca gets involved with, and she is part of the group. In this case, is also known as the Outlaws. And then we have one of the main characters. Ciri's narrative in season 4 adapts the events of the book Baptism of Fire. The story is described as a dark turn of the characters as she fully embarks on her own journey of self-discovery by joining the group of outlaws, in this case the Reds, where Mistle is like one of the leaders. And there she adopts, like I already said, a new identity as Falca, and she goes on a journey that definitely changed her whole sense when it comes to her self-discovery journey. So basically they meet, and when they meet right off the bat, you can already see an immediate connection between the two. At the beginning, you can see that in this case, Falca, which is Ciri as well, she was struggling to adapt to this new reality of joining the outlaws, in this case, the Reds. You can see that at the beginning, she wasn't very pleased of their way of living, their style of living, because they commit crimes and they are thieves. So, they rob, city to city, and they just are like a family of thieves. So it was very hard for her to adapt, but she have accepted the proposal of the group to join them. And obviously by her accepting, their proposal, in her becoming part of the group, you can see that in this case, the two start to spend more and more time together. Mistle was like a person that was helping her out with everything so she can adapt well in the group. And like I already said, Mistle, she's one of the leaders of the group. She has a lot of say, on how things should be done or how things should work out when it comes to, their, activities. But later on, as you see, as the episodes progresses, Mrs. just starts to see a whole different side of, of Falca that she definitely thought she wouldn't have seen. She saw like that dark side of her that kind of somehow did scare her. But later on, Falca told her, if you want to be with me, you will have to be with me for who I am and not for who you want me to be. This is who I am, And later on, slowly but surely, you can see that Missile actually started to find out who, Falca really is and where she comes from and her background. So where things actually took a mega turn for the couple, is when right before Ciri leaves the Red, she gets a rose tattoo on her inner thigh to match Mistle's. The two confesses their love for each other, and Ciri promises to return for Mistle and change her fate. But obviously things 100 trillion percent didn't go as planned, as Ciri learns that the Reds have been ambushed by the Bounty Hunter. She rushes back, to save them, but when she arrives, it was too late, as she actually had to witness with her own eyes Mistle and the rest of the Reds actually get eliminated, and the loss of Mistle became a significant trauma for Ceres because she had to witness a woman that she was following in love with, a partner, a person that understood her no matter what, get eliminated right before her, and she was crying her face out. Like, it was a very emotional scene and a very hard scene that I had to watch, in my personal opinion. So what happened? Why did Ciri decide to leave the Reds? So the reason why she had decided to leave the Reds is because she felt betrayed by the Reds, because she actually found it out that the rest, whether in this case the Reds, they were working with a group, of people, of, criminals that was eliminating her people, and she didn't know and she wasn't aware of this. So she was somehow felt betrayed, because she was like, if I'm part of the group, if I'm part of what we are doing here, I need to be informed of everything. So why am I the only one that doesn't know that you guys have been taking orders, or you guys have been working, for this group that have been eliminating my people, or have been eliminating my people. So she kind of felt really, really betrayed. And that is one of the main reasons she has decided to leave the Reds, because she wanted to go back and try to make things right with her people. But obviously, things 100 trillion percent didn't go as planned, because by the time she tried to come back and to save Missile, and to save the Reds as well, it was just too late. Yes, it was 100 trillion percent too late, because the Bounter was actually after her. But when the Bounter realized that, he can get to the group in order to get to her, that's when the whole tragedy event happened. One thing we can say is that the couple 100 trillion percent had a very good connection. They were very opposite from one another, but their connection was real. They knew how to, accept each other's differences. They knew how to accept, that they doesn't come or they don't come from the same background, but they somehow could find a way in order to make this relationship work and protect each other. Because the reason why the Reds got eliminated is because they lost their main figure, the strongest person on their team, which is Ciri. Ciri is the one that in a battleground they will eliminate everybody in order to protect the Reds. So the moment that the bounty hunter found it out that the Reds were vulnerable without Ciri, that's where he took advantage in order to go do what he needed to do. And yeah, it was a very, very hard scene to watch. And you can also see that, Missile, she was very like she was really hurt, for the fact that Ciri had decided to leave. But she could also understand why she had to leave. Like, she respected her moment, but always with the promise that they will see each other and she will come back and make things right. And it looks like the two might have, had or might have decided or possibly decide to go on their own personal journeys, together. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So yes, guys, like I said, this one is 100 trillion percent worth the watch. The couple do get not a lot of camera time, but they do get a lot of camera time at the same time, because like I said, Ciri, she's on this case Falca, she's one of the main characters. So she has her own role, and by her having her own role, the person that is with her is also, getting her own role somewhere, somehow. Very, 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 very good season so far. I would do have to say that this is my personal favorite season. There is 4 seasons available. Season 4 is my favorite so far, because I really do feel like they portrayed this couple very well. It wasn't like a toxic relationship. It was just like in a very intense relationship that needed to happen, and it unfortunately ended in a very tragic way. So I don't know if there's gonna be a season 5. Hopefully there will be a season 5, because I feel like season 4 ended in a very intense way. And I do feel like, if there is a season 4, that, in this case a season 5, that series will definitely go on a revenge path in order to revenge the loss of, her, or in this case the person who she fell in love with, which is Mistle. The story of them is very straightforward. Yes, I will have to say that's one thing I didn't like it. This one of the things that was for me a con is that, it was very straightforward. But I do have to say that the moments that they had together was very sweet, very, 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 very intense, very cute, very adorable. They had a lot of deep conversations. You can see that, their thoughts of thinking and their thoughts of doing things, was different. But, some way, somehow, the connection that they had for each other, some way, always, outdid the bad. So if you guys want to watch it, I will highly recommend going to Netflix, because there where it is available to watch season 4. Highly recommend watching it. Each episode is almost like around 58, 59, almost an hour long. You won't regret it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and goodbye.